Good afternoon, everyone. A big round of applause for the founders of Byjus, Raveendran and Divya Gokulnath. It's fantastic to have the opportunity to speak to both of these dynamic entrepreneurs on stage together, so we get to know a little bit more about not only their vision for Byjus, but also their story. So let's start there. When did it all begin? And Byjus, what's the journey in taking this company and your vision from stadiums to smartphones? Because that's where it all began, isn't it, in stadiums?
I'll keep it short, but just to dramatize the story, I'll tell that I come from a small village, which is a fact. I went to a government school, forgot about finding good teachers. Finding teachers itself was a challenge, which forced me to become a teacher in my school itself. So I started teaching my school in my village, in my college, and continued with that love for math, learning math and teaching math, which ended up becoming business. Still in that pursuit of how to make it bigger, more importantly, better. Would want to believe somewhere in the very beginning of that journey, a long way to go before we'll even think of this as success.
But tell me, there are lots of interesting anecdotes from your journey. As you said, humble beginnings. You started teaching stadiums full of thousands of students. You also learned English purely by listening to commentary. Is that correct?
I went to a Malayalam medium school, so everything which I've learned is by focusing on something which I like. Sports is something which is very close to me, so my average English, which you will hear from me over the next 15-20 minutes, is what I've learned completely by listening to sports commentary on radio.
That's amazing, and we're going to talk more about your passion for sports as well. Divya, let me bring you in here, and you were actually one of his students. Today, co-founder, partner, and a lot more.
I keep that part out for younger generations. So the story starts, for the other audience, as a teacher. And at the age of 21, I stopped telling people that I'm in this journey for the past 15 years. They say, did you start when you were a child? So at the age of 21, I joined him. And so he's been doing this for the past 18 years, me for the past 15. I started as a teacher, so many hats that we worn. And I think that's true for any entrepreneur, which we became by choice. And along the way, we've built one student at a time, one step at a time. But today, we go back and see that over the last so many years, we are touching 150 million students across the world. And in products in 120 countries, offices in 20 plus countries. And really, Abha, a lot of people know us, what you know us for, as say, the world's most valuable edtech company, the largest company. What people don't know us for is what I feel we are most successful for. It is for Education for All, which is our social initiative. And over the last 2 years, we've impacted 55 lakh children from the deepest parts of the country, all over India. Half of them are girls. So we're working with multiple state governments, we're working with Niti Aayog, helping children of border states, close to 1 lakh of them. And that for us, if you ask me what is break even, for every paying student, we have one child learning with us for free. That for us is a mission. Because education, after all, has the benefit of a double bottom line of doing well and doing good.
Absolutely, and it's not an overnight journey, and that's what you were telling me earlier as well, that there's a solid decade even before people started talking about Byjus as a recognizable edtech company with global investors. One that was one step at a time. You spent weeks traveling all over the country and building this. Share with us, a snippet of that journey to help us get an understanding of really what it's taken to build something of this scale.
Yeah, that's also because media started reporting only the fundraising part of it, which we started only in 2015. Not many people know that I started teaching formally like in 2003, 2004. So 11 years of, I used to go to 9 cities every week. Monday to Friday, 5 cities. And Saturday morning I used to do Bangalore, evening I used to do Chennai. Sunday morning I used to do Bombay, Sunday evening I used to do Pune. Did that non-stop for there was a time where I did this for 4 years without a single day break. Not many people know this. What I'm trying to tell here is there is no overnight success. It's in one sentence, there is no substitute for hard work. Hard work works.
So I'm going to just interweave the personal story here, but we'll keep talking about the business growth as well. But how did this happen? How did the romance happen? Did you propose?
Next question.
I can tell you that. I always used to teach in auditoriums like this or stadiums which are bigger than this. So it's very difficult to notice any particular student. But the ones who joined me as partners, founding partners, 6 of my students. So I started, not many people know again, my founding partners are all my students. 6 of them who started with me 11 years back all of them are still there is a validation that we have not changed our mission. We would have changed business models, but we have stayed true to our mission of making an impact on students. And it's a big advantage being in the sector. It's very easy to attract talent and retain them. So, and they are the ones who are closest to the action. Even with all the noise which in the media in the last 6-12 months, I have not lost a single one of them. First 300 employees all came from the student base. When we check the count 10 years later, last year in our anniversary, 262 of them are still there. That's our biggest strength. Now, going back to the question on how did I select the students who joined me? They were the ones who came and asked maximum questions. So she used to stay back and ask a lot of questions. So she got noticed. And then I don't know when it changed us and we became life partners, but that was more organic.
Question. We don't know what came first, but it's worked out very well. So, there is this whole notion that opposites attract. I say that's a real life phenomenon, not a real life situation. Here, it really helps to have like-minded people on your side, life, work, otherwise. Those who know us say we are like chalk and cheese, very different personalities, but inside our values are exactly the same. So all our addictions outside work is our kids and our family, and travel.
You should ask more questions to her. She always complains that I don't let her talk.
I talk way too much.
I'll play second fiddle.
Me know I do.
I always used to get undue credit because my name is there. People ask me but the fact is, it's all a function of what all my students build the company. So, but today I'm feeling slightly better because of the last 12 months. We've also started getting a lot of undue flack. So it kind of balances out.
Well, she actually told me to ask her what she doesn't like about you. So, Olivia, what annoys you the most?
What he doesn't like about me, not the other way around.
Go on then. I don't think he wants to get into trouble with that one.
I'll obviously, I don't want to, I'll first answer what I like and then I'll answer what I don't like. So, though you didn't ask, but what I like is the fact that all of them have really stepped up over the last 10 years, including her. So, that ability to learn, because we are all self-learners. We've built the product completely based on the assumption that students learn the best when they learn on their own. How do we enable them to start learning on their own, where teachers start playing the role of a mentor or someone who will do mentoring, monitoring, and motivating? So that's that strong belief in self-learning, and that's how we've learned how to build a business which is all based on first principles. There is no playbook for success. So she's also a fast learner, really stepped up and played multiple roles. And not just, I am not biased towards, it's very similar with all other founding partners. But what I don't like is the fact that she doesn't like the last minute changes.
Okay.
And very rigid about last minute changes, which is part of the game. And that's exactly what she will tell that she doesn't like about me.
Okay, I'm going to give you your turn, Divya, but I'm also going to keep on jumping in here since we have limited time. What were your learnings from the last year? You've both talked about it in terms of the business decisions you made and the rationale, where you went wrong, etc. But what were your learnings if we have to come away from it today?
So, we are pioneers in NetTech. We are not pioneers in perfection. What we were building was something which was being built in India for the first time. In education, we were painting an empty canvas. Sure, we went over the lines at times, but then it's important that we corrected ourselves, we learned along the way, and we grew. In fact, I say we started as teachers, but more importantly, we are learners. Learning every single day, improving every single day. A lot of people ask me, where do you want to be, now? What's next for you? I say, I want to do what I'm doing today, better tomorrow. It's as simple as that. And there is scope to do that. We have 300 million school-going children. We have a million teachers, 15 lakh schools in India. The potential is so huge. We can literally create a global champion coming out of India for the world. In fact, in Abha, people ask us, and just because of all the wrong perception, because the human mind is wired to perceive perception as reality, the Indian market is growing, the edtech market is growing at 40%, while the global edtech market is just growing at 16.4%, which itself is very good. If anything, India is bound to become the edtech capital of the world. When you're creating for 1.4 billion people, you're creating for 1/6 of humanity. This is something which has helped us create a global product, localized to every country, personalized to every learner.
So when you were going through this difficult period, you also had this big FIFA deal that you did. And there was a lot of criticism about that. That why at this time have you chosen to spend money when people were questioning whether or not they would get paid? How would you answer that?
So these deals don't get signed overnight, Abha. And it was something that we did because like I said, we wanted to create a global champion from India and create awareness across the world. So when we did it, at the point that we signed the deal, we had about 25% of our students coming outside India. So it was to create global awareness about the brand. Because we are fortunate to have that kind of top-of-mind awareness in India. One big reason was also the cricket sponsorship. We moved to being one of India's most loved brands. So sport is a way and is also very close to our ethos of all-round development for the youth. So we believe sport and education goes very closely together.
And the deal, just to continue, the deal was signed many months back because it's not, you can't time it just 1 week, you can't sign Messi for a partnership. Yeah. And it's unlike the business partnership, it's a very different level of partnership where it mainly promotes our education for all. And after signing him up, we have actually doubled the number of NGOs and the inbound interest which we got from NGOs. So, though unfortunately it clashed with, we had to let go of a few of our team members. Everyone talks about the 2,500 people whom we had to lay off during those 3 months, but no one talks about the 25,000 we hired during the last 12 months. In February of this month, we have hired 2,000 new people. We are the largest startup employer in the country by a margin. Across our companies, we have 55,000 people working for us. 55,000, that's a huge responsibility. Though, like again, I'm not justifying, because we had to optimize, because when we acquired 6 companies, there are a lot of duplicity and redundancy which came because of, we didn't optimize during an environment where everyone was looking at growth. But when, when the world changed and everyone is looking at efficient growth, we had to do it. So, but as unfortunate as it can be, so.
Okay. There is a story about how you stalked Messi in an elevator. Do you want to tell us about that? Way before you signed him on for Byjus, apparently you saw him at some event and actually went up and down in the elevator all day until you met him. Is that true?
That's almost 10 years back when they came to Kolkata. That's true. It's like, I normally say, I'll use that as an example on how we don't take no for an answer. There was no way I was able to meet 10 years back when we were just starting the company. So when Argentina came to Kolkata, so I stayed in the same hotel, went up and down for 2 days and finally caught him on the elevator. And then when I recently met him during the sponsorship deal, I just mentioned to him, he was like literally taken aback.
The biggest example of him not taking no for an answer would be when, his father was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, and he's doing very well now, touch wood, but he did not give up because he had to get an appointment with the doctor, and it was in the US, it's at least 4 or 5 months away, but we didn't have that much time. So he sat in the reception and he made sure, like, for days together, and he made it happen. And there are so many countless things. In fact, one thing that I've really learned from him is the importance of never giving up. So even entrepreneurship is not about a single long race. It's about multiple short sprints. And you need to take that again and again and again. Because as a business, there will be booms, there will be busts. But how would you know a business is meant to last unless it lasts the toughest of times?
So you both have spoken about education for all the kind of growth responsibility that you continue to have and continue to drive at Byjus. You've talked about the India moment, and Divya, I want to come to you on that because you're so confident of India really bursting out on the global stage, and you have a global vision, both of you. I know that you also are a great singer, and would you like to just sing us a tribute to your vision as you've done before, and I'd love to hear it here on stage today.
Okay, don't judge me because I don't get time to sing nowadays. Although a lot of people ask me if you were not a teacher, what would you be? The answer would be singer. So I'll try to give it my best shot. ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों ज़रा आँख में भर लो पानी जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी ज़रा याद करो कुर्बानी तुम भूल न जाओ उनको इसलिए सुनो ये कहानी जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी ज़रा याद करो कुर्बानी.
A true Indian story, ladies and gentlemen.
So, the war will not last forever, the interest rates will not rise forever, but the Indian growth story is here to stay.
Absolutely. A big round of applause, the co-founders of Byjus. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I please call upon Asim Srivastava, CEO Kirloskar, to come up on stage and present a small token of our appreciation to our esteemed panelists. Mr. Asim Srivastava, CEO Kirloskar Oil Engines Limited, B2C Businesses. Please raise a warm applause for our panelists. Once again, let me remind you of all that you've seen go down on this dais over the course of the 2 days here on our 20th edition of the India Today Conclave, the India